Hi, Leo, Sun and Rising. Welcome to your December 2023 Astro Update. It's Raina here. Ooh, December. For Leos, this is a really great vibe because the Sun is in a fellow fire sign for the first 3 weeks of the month. So you have a trine between your Sun and the transiting Sun, or your ascendant and the transiting Sun, and that can feel very good. Things may go your way more often, and this is Sagittarius, so this is your fifth house, and you rule the fifth house in astrology. So that in itself is like having, when the Sun is there, is like having a solar return. It's like feeling like you're having your birthday. So you should be having a very nice time. Of course, this is a holiday period, so everyone would expect to be having a great time, but Leos, are always a little bit extra, right? So you're going to have even more fun. That's what the fifth house is all about, besides love and being creative, and you are definitely down with that. On the first of the month, Mercury goes into Capricorn, so you've had Mercury in that sector of the fifth house as well. Maybe you're talking to somebody that in November that is a potential romantic interest, and Mercury then goes into the next house, which is totally different because it's Virgo's domain in astrology and very down to earth, but down to business. It's the house of work. It's the house of your routines, especially your daily routines, your diet, health in general. You could be thinking about these things. Your mind could be dominated by issues. Sometimes when Mercury is in the sixth house, maybe you're negotiating something. On the 4th, Venus goes into Scorpio, and as a Leo, that is hitting that 4th house, that angular 4th house of home and family. So Venus in this area Venus can be money. So some money exchanging hands for a property, or having the money, gathering the money to buy a property, or maybe selling a property. Venus can be harmony with the family of origin. So that's great to have when you're, in that holiday time, because you may be actually seeing your family. This could be beautification of the home. Maybe you're entertaining and you want to get a quick paint job in your living room before you have guests over. Who knows? On the 6th, Neptune turns direct at 24 degrees, 53 minutes of Pisces, basically 25 degrees of Pisces. And for you, this is in this 8th house, which is a very intense house. This is Scorpio's domain, but you have Pisces in this 8th house. Neptune has been transiting in the sign of Pisces since 2012, so you've had it here for years. And when Neptune is direct in this house, this can be very good for any kind of metaphysical studies. And if some of you have been training to become a channel, I know people get degrees for being doctors and lawyers and things like that, but you can get certification to become a medium too. I know it's a little bit off the beaten path, but some of you are showing an interest in that, or shamanism. Shamanism is 8th house because the 8th house is magic and transformation. It's a big theme because one of the rulers of Scorpio is Pluto, and that is associated with the with death and rebirth, Those are themes of the 8th house, and transformation. So the old you and the new you. But with Neptune here, you may have had some disillusionment with the retrograde as it pertains to these activities. Maybe you had some kind of, you enrolled to become a shaman, and you didn't like what you were studying. Or alchemy. That's another theme that we could say about the 8th house. And, just to be clear about these things, if you find, some kind of like major rift between you, like if you're studying something spiritual, don't second guess yourself. This has happened to me more than once, because I don't really find anything that I resonate with 100%. So I just keep seeing other people and how they seem to be so capable of dedicating themselves to a particular path. And, it's almost enviable, but I think about it from the other end, and I think that having critical thinking skills is very good as well. So if something seems hypocritical or just inconsistent, or unrealistic, or just what you don't believe in, or even the people who are running the program, something happens that makes you question it, don't dismiss that. And sometimes you're going to find that the people gaslight you too, to try to make you think that you're the one who has the problem. And of course, none of us are perfect, but we have to be very careful about what we get involved in and really, start believing. So, if you're really honing in on your intuition, you will be able to tell how it feels. And if something feels off, don't hesitate to do it. But on the other hand, don't just throw in the towel just on the first offense, unless it's a very serious offense. Because I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, or situations. I try to tolerate it a little bit. But if I see a consistent pattern, then I don't have to think twice, and I can just remove myself from that situation. So there may have been something like that, but then you were able, now that Neptune is direct, you're able to still have put faith in something that, to really immerse yourself. Neptune is about kind of becoming at one with, dissolving into something. So rather than being apart from it, like really merging with it. And that's really what the 8th house is as well. And it takes dedication. It takes desire. So some of you may be relieved that Neptune is direct, because you don't have to feel that sense of disillusionment anymore. You can move forward, and in some cases, you can still be part of an organization that maybe didn't live up to what it should have, but it isn't just completely worthless. It's like those organizations where there's a sex scandal with the leader. Just because there is doesn't mean that the organization itself is just completely corrupt. Sometimes there are opposing members who, really maybe saw some of the things going on, and they were always against what was happening, and they may have been the whistleblowers. So the reason I'm saying all of this is because this has come up in my life with organizations that I have been a part of in the past that I found out more information about. And it's easy to get disillusioned because we think that, these types of groups, like a spiritual group, should be immune from any kind of scandals. But no, it can happen. And we have to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. So yeah, some theme like that may come up for you. Or even like, another area that this can happen is with money that doesn't belong to just you, like if it's a shared resource, like maybe a spouse. Some of you may have gotten a bit of a nasty shock about finances of your partner. And or even like a parent. Sometimes an adult child will find out that their parent really doesn't have the resources that the adult child thought that they did. So there could be that moment of disillusionment that that parent is actually in dire straits and maybe worrying about that parent. And in some cases, if somebody has had any kind of experience where their partner's finances were exposed, that could have been very disillusioning. Maybe you didn't realize that your partner was mismanaging funds and you found out about it because it's in Pisces. And I think about that full moon we had in Pisces. I can't remember exactly when that was. I think it was in late August, but I don't know if that would have been the time when it occurred. But you might have been in shock, and now that Neptune is going direct, you can, be okay again. And that, but it's like if it's not a deal breaker in your relationship, I should say. Okay, what else is happening? On the 12th, new moon at 20 degrees of Sagittarius. In that fifth house of romance and creativity, maybe a new project, a new creative project that you're dreaming up. Maybe a new relationship is potentially, possible to occur because you are talking to somebody that you are interested in, or maybe dating that person. This could be somebody that you meet at a holiday party. You never know. On the 13th, Mercury goes retrograde at 8 degrees of Capricorn. There's that sixth house again. And yeah, so negotiations. Maybe negotiations break down, but something in the workplace. Could it be a salary increase? Some kind of negotiations based on your working conditions. Who knows? By the way, Mercury goes direct on the 1st of January, but it does go back into Sagittarius, into that fifth house, on the 23rd of the month. On the 21st, we have a winter solstice. Well, I'm in the northern hemisphere, and that's when the sun goes into Capricorn. And this is a power period with the sun going into a cardinal sign. And for you, Capricorn is that 8th house. I'm sorry, the 6th house. So it is, just joining. Well, Mercury will rejoin it there. And the sun is your ruler. So it really is about, when I think of Leo as a sign, I think of dignity. So you're going to hold your head up high in the workplace. You're going to feel confident in this environment, regardless of what's going on around you. If you feel undervalued, and that's why there is some kind of, you're making demands, like to make more money or to have more responsibility. Leo is a natural leader, so it wouldn't surprise me if this is something that you do or have done. And that can, to me, that can enhance your profile if you are warm and assertive rather than arrogant, to be, more precise. On the 26th, there's a full moon at almost 5 degrees of Cancer. Cancer is your 12th house, Leo. This is the house of the dream state, of self-destruction, self-defeating patterns. The full moon can be breaking ties to those bad habits, but being aware of them and then being able to release them, because you're convinced that it's a bad way to be. And that's really, when a person can see within themselves that something isn't right, that is so much better than if they are being pressured by the outside world to quit a bad habit, for instance, or maybe they feel the sense of other people coercing them to do something. When it comes from the self, it's always more meaningful as far as I'm concerned, and the result can be more long-lasting. So look at what kind of things need to be dropped, need to be let go of. Maybe this will help you for it to come to the light. The 12th house is a hidden house, so the events of this house may be going on behind the scenes. And on the 30th, we have Jupiter turning direct at 5 degrees of Taurus, the same degree that it was when the lunar eclipse happened on October 28th at 5 degrees of Taurus. So Jupiter turning direct in this 10th house of career, what could that possibly mean? The transit of Jupiter in the 10th house can be very fortunate, being at the right place at the right time. So if your career has stalled out, this could be a turning point. Now, of course, we are under a Mercury retrograde, but Mercury goes direct on the 1st of the month, so that's just a couple of days away from that. And of course, because it's holiday time, probably in most of the world, there are closures until January 2nd. So that could be your going ahead time. If you've been feeling like your career has been stalling out a little bit, this may give it quite the jump start. And you may, because because of that lunar eclipse that was in that sign, that might, in the sign of Taurus, that might mean that something that you could not take advantage of before comes back to you. That's just true of Jupiter retrograde altogether. And now that Jupiter is direct, that may be the fruits of the actions. Jupiter is about expansion as well. It's entirely possible that I was even thinking about this with Venus going from the 6th to the 5th house, that there might be some kind of situation for some Leos where you had an affair in the workplace. And this is something where, so love may have struck, and even Uranus in the 10th house, it could be love at first sight, where something just happens, or success happening suddenly. So here we have Uranus and Jupiter in this 10th house of career. If you haven't done so already, Leo, you may have an experience where you are a digital nomad, where you are, if not working from a laptop, you might be a traveling professor or other, like a yoga teacher that's teaching in exotic locations. And this is just you moving forward with these endeavors. So that's what I have for you, Leo. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, please check out my package deals, like my deep dive astrological double reading, an hour of natal chart analysis, and an hour of transits for a special price. And I have single readings as well. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.